The Chicago Bears fell to the Green Bay Packers 28-19 at Soldier Field in their Week 13 matchup against the guys up north. The Bears have lost 9 of their last 10 games and are currently sitting with the second overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. And just to put a little stinger on it, the Bears are officially eliminated from playoff contention. Sure, we knew this year was going to be a rebuild year. Sure, Justin Fields has become one of the biggest threats of the young quarterback class that came out last year, and teams have to plan around Justin Fields, the Chicago Bears quarterback, which they haven't had to do in a very long time. But Fields passing as a quarterback is not the biggest threat, and that is a slight issue, especially for the Chicago Bears. Offensive coordinator Luke Getsy, who came from the Green Bay Packers last year, had a lot of praise, was actually rumored to be a head coach candidate next season. Stock has fell over the last couple weeks with how the Bears have been doing on their losing streak. He has had an absolute roller coaster of a season, especially, he was considered a head coach candidate for many teams next year. His play calling late in games and on crucial drives scratches a lot of heads. Getsy has had a ton of good, pretty decent amount of bad, and a lot of head scratchers. But one consistent part for Luke Getsy this season, his inability to execute in key moments. Is he being too conservative? Is he not trusting Justin Fields? Is he the main problem for these losses? Just to put it out there before I start breaking everything down, I'm just going to say no out of the gate. The Bears are in a rebuilding year. He definitely has had some parts where he has been too conservative. But this team could be losing on purpose just to get a better pick, because they have definitely shown that they have a ton of potential to do good things. So speaking of good things, let's talk about how Luke Getsy has greatly improved this offense so far this season. The offense is ranked 23rd in the NFL from a total yards perspective. Their passing is ranked dead last with 140 yards per game. But there is still a ton of improvement from last year. There is no doubt about that. I think we can all agree on that. But rushing for the Chicago Bears is ranked number 1. Averaging nearly 200 yards a game. And that is also ranked with an insanely low offensive line. Yes, you have improvement out there and a bright future for the offensive line, but they're still not perfect. They give up a ton of pressure. And for them to be able to do this, especially with running backs Khalil Herbert, David Montgomery, and Justin Fields, that's pretty darn impressive. Getsy, again, has also helped turn Justin Fields into one of the most dangerous young quarterbacks in the NFL. He can run whenever he wants. He can pass the deep ball well, and it looks like a completely different player from 2021. Fields is the first quarterback in NFL history to have 3 rushing touchdowns of 50 of plus more yards. Yes, he is the first, and yes, he did it all within 1 month in 1 season. Fields also had the best game of his career against the Green Bay Packers, 90 plus QBR, 80% completion percentage, 254 passing yards, 71 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, 2 interceptions. That were not his fault. Just putting that out there, they were not. The first one was his fault, but the second one was not his fault. Luke Getsy needs to improve on the play calling in order for Justin Fields to be more effective. But he also improved tight end Cole Kmet, a guy who needed a huge season in order to stay on this roster and not be considered a bust. Kmet has 5 touchdowns with 336 passing yards and was the number 1 wide receiver against the Green Bay Packers in Week 13. He ain't no Travis Kelce, but he's a darn good tight end. He did this all with a group of inconsistent offensive linemen, what many say is the worst wide receiver room before Chase Claypool showed up, which he still needs to use more, and a quarterback who had to learn an entirely new playbook and get rid of bad habits that he gained in his rookie season from the guy that will not be named. Another thing is that the Bears are so close to winning so many games. The Bears started 2-1 and are now 3-10, unfortunately, but the Chicago Bears have, out of their last 9 losses, 7 of them have been by 1 score. You give the Bears 4 of those 7 losses, the Bears sit at 7-6, are very well in the wild card race. And these games are fun to watch. Even though they lose, the games are fun to watch overall. So what can Getsy do? Number 1, work with Ryan Poles to see who is going to be here next, or likely to be here next year, and who's not. Whoever that may be, Luke Getsy can start making sure they're on the field as much as possible now that these games don't count, and the Bears can take risk and run different plays, and they can create even more chemistry between those guys. Another thing you do is throw the damn ball. You have the number 1 rushing offense in the NFL. Yes, a lot of that is with Justin Fields. But now that nothing counts, just throw it deep, throw different passes, throw different routes out there, and see what the guys can do. Take risk in the 4th quarter as well is the last one I'll hit on. Getsy has to be more, risk-taking in regards to when he does want to pass the ball. in order to open up the playbook and let these guys learn, especially a young quarterback like Justin Fields. Like, don't run a draw on 2nd and 15. That's just a Matt Nagy move. But Luke Getsy, I would not blame him because of the fact of everything that he has had to work with, and he's doing a great job so far. But I know a lot of people are mad at him, but this offense is going in the right direction, and I think that Luke Getsy could do great things for the Chicago Bears. Put your comments below. I would love to hear them and talk to you guys about it. But with that, thank you very much for joining this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Rohde, and we will see you guys next time.